So I want to ask you, I think this is a good time to ask you how the inner child exploration is a critical first step of the storytelling. What are your thoughts on that?
Thank you so much for asking that. It is a very big question, actually. You know, when I teach storytelling sessions on personal growth and leadership, one slide I put up in front of my learners is the story of David. And with that, I put up the quote, which is attributed to Michelangelo, which says that, I didn't create him. I saw an angel stuck in a marble, and I just chiseled and set him free. I carved and I chiseled till I could set him free. I somehow think of our inner child as that angel stuck in us, and we have become stones through the process of life. It may sound a little solemn and a little cynical, but it is also true to some extent that there is, the man box and the women box, and a certain way to be, you being judged by the scores, mark sheets, the next job, the next promotion, the next admission, and everyone is being marked by the same direction, whereas we are all 360-degree people. So I keep talking about this angel stuck in a stone. And I also talk about the messy middles. Some stories are ready to be told, some stories are processing inside us. And it is our job to work on them, not to just say that those are messy and leave them aside. I mean, it is a lifetime's work, but we should be hard at work on that. What I try to do with storytelling is to ready the artist and ready the art. Because whatever we do, if we have cleared the channel inside us, if we have come to that arrival and acceptance and realize whatever happens to us happens for us. It's a process of deep consciousness. It's a process of self-forgiving. I think our creativity starts there. And to put it into perspective, how it is useful and important in our regular life. Of course, we can as well live our whole life not thinking about any of this, going boozing on Friday evenings and slaughtering and coming back to work and calling it Monday blues when it happens to us. That's definitely one way of living life. But unfortunately, that way of living life is not working out more so recently. If you look around all the big industries in the world, if you see, they're all born out of garages, out of first generation entrepreneurs. This day today is the age of ideas. We are not contesting with machines. We are not sharing the pie and jostling over space with each other. We now know that it's not a zero-sum game. It's a big, big, big universe. We all have a share. Money is energy. Money is not even what is minted by the mints. It's energy. It's really the power of self and the self realization that we are as big or as small as we want us to be. And that starts with stories, because what power do you have on the faculty of anybody else? I cannot be powerful because I can only have that much muscle and that much bicep, even if I go to gym every day. My real power comes from my access to other people's faculty. If you think of Steve Jobs, if you think of Mother Teresa, if you think of Hitler, if you think of Barack Obama, if you think of Mahatma Gandhi, all of them, they were powerful leaders, not because they were very powerful physically or spiritually, but because they had access to other people's faculty. Whatever they said, others believed. And to be able to develop that, we have to first believe in ourselves, first be visible to ourselves, first be understood and assured. And I think that inner child work or coming home to ourselves is the first step to whatever we do in life. It shows its manifestation in terms of our professional growth, our personal branding, our social acceptance, status, whatever. But first, it gives a lot of peace to ourselves. We have a good night's sleep and we think of ourselves, we look in the mirror and we don't see the freckles. We see that smile and the twinkle in the eye, which belongs to that 8-year-old, which is why this campaign is so dear to me. It really is dear to me because I feel that Lighthouse needed to start its first step with the child in it. without the joy, we can talk of activism and awareness, but we'll be soon bored of it. We have to first make peace with ourselves, and that happens like, long back.
That's right.
We all have wounded children inside us, and we better make peace and make friendship with that child. And as Anirban wrote in his letter, even if the child calls us uncles or aunties, we still talk to them and make peace with them.
I'm reading the letters and listening to Vidya and to you. I feel, something, we have all experienced it in some shades. So whether we are listening or writing, in some way, we are unsticking it, it's getting unstuck. And we are now also starting to digest it and integrate it. So thank you, Sanjini. You have really, given through Lighthouse an amazing new way to write our life narrative. And I think you can also tell us a little bit about Lighthouse, because not everybody would be aware about that. So please.
Oh, thank you so much for that opportunity. I'll keep it short because I want to move on to asking everybody else about their 8-year-old selves.
I thought this would be able to.
Yes, but to give you a little glimpse of what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to reimagine personal growth and leadership, be it community leadership, be it self-leadership, be it corporate leadership. I'm trying to reimagine personal growth and leadership with authenticity, empathy, and a whole lot of coming home to ourselves. By that, I mean that if we can stand up and speak our truth, if we can be seen and be heard and be understood for who we truly are, and when we open our heart and when we tell our stories, we realize, I'm sure when we heard Vidya, many of us are like, me too. I also wanted something my parents didn't give us. And when we are having that story stuck inside us, we think we are alone in it. There's shame, there's guilt, there's so much of unprocessed emotions. But the moment we open our mouth, it's like, me too. Everyone felt the same way. And that is what I want to harness, because there's so much power in that community feeling. We don't have to be angry about so many things that are wrong. We can be joyfully making changes. And my model really is authentic storytelling, joyful change making, and creative leadership. Because creativity is not like only few people are creative. Everybody is creative. All of us at 8 years old drew pictures and made puppets out of mud. Where did that go? When did we stop? I want to bring that back in our lives, and also to show people it doesn't have to be on your Saturday evenings. It can become a part of your professional growth, because once you are creative, once you open your perspective, you realize it's not a zero-sum game. You automatically become so much more articulate. I have seen that with my life. I've spoken to computer in number language for 12 years, had a professional burnout, and then took a total swerve and rediscovered myself through writing and speaking. And I've seen what it does to own your narrative and to stand up and speak your truth. So I'm just trying to, share that gift that I got over my last few years of very intense journey through my swerve. So that's my purpose with Lighthouse, to help you be seen and heard and understood for the person that you truly are.